So the High Court of Zimbabwe has actually dismissed Walter Muzembi's application for discharge at close of state case, and he will be put to his defense on March 3 and 4. This was actually revealed by the lawyers of Walter Muzembi. Walter Muzembi is one of the former Chief 40 members of ZANU-PF, enemies of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, who were targeted by the Operation Restore Legacy, including Professor Jonathan Moyo, as well as Xavier Kasukwere. He was lured to come back to Zimbabwe. He fell to the trap leading to his arrest. Now he is trying to get himself to be freed by the regime of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. And from the look of things, the regime does not want to entertain the freedom of Walter Muzembi. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch. So let's listen to the lawyers of Walter Muzembi as they give the update after the judgment was handed down. Just a moment.
So we made an application for discharge because of the state case, and the court was of the view that we need to explain a few issues that were raised during the state case, and those issues can only be explained in defense case. So the court has placed us to our defense, so we are going to be proceeding to the defense case on the 3rd and the 4th of March 2026. The court has given indicators which we need to address, which we also admit there are issues that lead our client to explain the side of the story as the person who was incumbent at the material time. He knows the issues, he has to expound the issues to the court. The court was not there, the state was not there. He must explain those issues, then justice will then be served. That is only when the court can make a just decision. So we are going to be proceeding to the defense case and allow our clients to say the side of the story and explain what was transpiring at the material time. That is where we are now.
Okay. How long have you gone in terms of applying for bail?
Well, look, we are appearing in the anti-corruption court. It is the judge who determines the day and time when the bail application should be heard. So we only served with the letter that the matter has been referred to the judge handling this matter on Monday, which is yesterday. So essentially, we do not expect that the bail application will be heard. With that being heard, the ruling of the court, we need to explain our side of the story. So we will not be pursuing the bail application.
Okay, so those are the lawyers of Walter Muzembi saying, in fact, after the state finished laying out its case, they applied for, their client to be actually recused. They applied for their client to be freed by the court, and the court have said, no, we cannot do that. Your client still has a case to answer. For the Justice Chikowero, who was presiding, saying, I consider there is evidence on the record calling for a reply by the recused. So he is saying, from what has been actually said by the state, there are still answers that Walter Muzembi has to. So which means Walter Muzembi will have to defend himself on the 3rd to the 4th of March. which means more time staying in prison, and they are complicating also the bail process. And the reasons for all this is to make sure that he spend as much time in prison as possible and suffer as much as possible. I think this is a reflection of the character of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. What is happening, definitely, the person who is directing how Muzembi should be punished, it is none other than Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa himself. That is why he sent his operatives to lure Walter Muzembi to Zimbabwe, and Walter Muzembi was promised that as soon as you come back to Zimbabwe, you will have audience with the president of Zimbabwe, and then from there, most probably was promised also a ministerial position and the restoration of a good life. I mean, he was lured to that because everyone who has been in ZANU-PF, they are in ZANU-PF to loot, they are in ZANU-PF to enjoy, they thrive through corruption. All of them, including Mnangagwa, if he is removed from power, there may be numerous cases of corruption laid against him. In fact, when he was fired last time, corruption cases were actually unveiled, but already he ran for his dear life to the neighboring South Africa. He didn't learn anything there because he didn't stay for a long period of a time to experience how it is to be an ordinary citizen like Zimbabweans. After 2 weeks, he was back because he was fermenting a coup, and he had friends who were going to call 1 or 2 shots, and he was going to be back in power this time around as the head of the state. So we have a president who has learned nothing in terms of the experiences of ordinary people in Zimbabwe. Ever since Zimbabwe became independent, he has been working with government, rotating from one ministry to another, enjoying life. Accumulating as much wealth as possible through corruption while tracking and making sure that he is in good books with the then president, and also in the process plotting to actually take over power from him. That is Mnangagwa for you. So Walter Muzembi will have to undergo trial. I think it was overexcitement for the lawyers to think that Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa can make it so easier for Walter Muzembi to be just discharged like this, to give an impression that he was wrongly charged. You may be actually shocked to discover that they may even actually sentence him to some years, to some months, to continue punishing him. That is that if there is overreach in terms of the judiciary in Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF controls the judiciary. JOC controls the judiciary. So that's the fate of Walter Muzembi. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Oganqobo Mhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you.